public transportation. Have you ever thought about how does it work in the Star Trek universe? Let's talk about that. Hello and welcome back with another TREKKERPRISE video. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about public transportation in the Star Trek universe. Well, in the 21st century, in present days, we use multiple forms of public transportation. We use planes, cars, buses, trains, and we even cycle and walk everywhere where we want.
It's a miracle these people ever got out of the 20th century.
Although in the Star Trek universe, if you happen to be a member of Starfleet, you usually go everywhere using a starship, a shuttle, or even using a transporter. But what if you're not part of Starfleet? What if you live in planet Earth? How the heck you getting from Los Angeles to New York, or from New York to London, or from London to Paris? Well, as we all know, Star Trek is really famous for its transportation methods. We can use the transporter to beam from one place to another, we can use a starship to go from one planet to the other, and we can use shuttles as well to go from one place to another. But what about Earth and the Earth public transportation? In the Prime timeline, we visited Earth a couple of times. The one thing that we know, people still use shuttles to go from one place to another, and occasionally they actually can walk as well.
Shuttled in from the village?
No, I decided to walk. Good.
Because let's face it, no one really wants to take a shuttle when the weather is nice out there and you can just walk that 500 or 700 meters away where you really want to go. But for longer distance we still have trains, as we've seen them used in Paris or in San Francisco. As in fact in San Francisco they have an underground system as well called Trans Francisco that basically travels through the different districts in San Francisco. I assume in bigger cities like New York, Los Angeles, London, Tokyo, they still have the big transportation systems. Maybe not the way how we know it, but maybe in a more efficient way. Public transportation is still a really important thing in the 21st century Earth, because obviously you can travel from one city to another using a shuttlecraft, or if you have multiple people, you still have shuttle buses that we seen in Star Trek the motion picture. But what about cars and buses? We didn't really see that much cars and buses in the Prime universe, but I guess that's something that we have to blame Kirk and Spock for.
Does it mean exact change?
If they have cars and buses in the future, I'm pretty sure they use electronic cars and buses or something that actually works with the same propulsion system that they use for shuttles. Or they just use shuttles because it's more efficient and quicker. But the other interesting fact is, if they have shuttles, they don't have planes. Obviously, if they have the more efficient shuttles, they don't need to use planes anymore. So I assume in Prime Universe they don't use ever planes anymore, because they have more fancy shuttles that they can actually travel much faster, more efficiently, and with more people on board. But oddly, people still use these old-fashioned transportation systems. They still have carriages in planet Earth. As we got to see in many times from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, in front of Cisco's restaurant, they have actually a carriage all the time, so I assume they still use like slower transportation methods, because let's face it, if you're in paradise, you don't really have to rush anywhere. In the Kelvin timeline, we got to see multiple forms of public transportation. We got to see buses, we got to see cars, we got to see trains, and we will see this old relic train that actually roams across the streets in San Francisco. The Kelvin timeline in terms of public transportation looks more busier. The Earth itself looks much busy. They actually have roads down there, and in the Kelvin timeline they still have traffic signs, so they still have pedestrian crossing lines and they still have metro signs, so people of the Earth, they still know where to find that metro station or where to actually cross the road officially. I think I can safely say the most common public transportation methods in the Kelvin timeline and in the Prime timeline as well, trains and shuttles. That's more or less the same in both timeline, and even as I've seen in Star Trek Discovery, they use the same sort of transportation systems. Please let me know in the comment section below what do you think about the public transportation system in the Kelvin timeline, or in the Prime timeline, or even in Discovery timeline in the Star Trek universe, and what would you use if you would be a normal citizen in the planet Earth? Would you use a transporter, a shuttle, or would you just walk there or cycle there? Please let me know in the comment section below. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to receive all the geekiness every week. And until next time, live long and prosper.